I love the sequence when you see him when Bond jams the after Boris finally cracks the code and Bond jams it with jams the gears. And you see, huh? It's like, oh my god! It's like what hacksaws.
He does this.
Probably
He
one of the
does.
first. He's probably one of the earliest versions of the AES-DFG when everyone smashes the keys because he just goes nuts.
Wait, speak to me.
Yeah.
Oh man, Boris was such a goofy character. He was complete. He kind of complete. It's like completely opposite of like the other part of what's going on in that same scene where you have this epic climax between Bond and Trevelyan.
Yeah. And
and all this have this goofy guy yelling at his computer screen.
Yeah. And what's also neat is that I think for the other films where you have, maybe I'm wrong because I'm remembering the Bond's wrong, but where many of the films you see the secondary villain is a bigger physical threat to Bond than the main one. Here you see that it's very fitting that the main villain is the physical threat. You know, Xenia Onatopp is also a big physical threat, but when you see 006 and 007 fight, it's like 006 is a whole new league. So it's like, whoa. It's very personal. It's also really neat to see these two different agents. You finally see Bond work with another agent in person. It's like, oh, this is how they work.
I just want to go back.
Double in the movies. Is that the first time you see another 00?
No. You see, 009 was in Octopussy. He dies in the beginning, and 004 dies at the beginning of Living Daylights. There was also the other double agent.
Still, yeah, but they're not main characters. They're not really characters. You see them for like a second, then they get killed.
Yeah, this is the first time we see another 00 agent. That's for 009. I love that moment when he revenges 009 in Octopussy. This is for my brother. And that's for 009.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a shame with the world on Tomorrow Never Dies. Actually, what's also great about Tomorrow Never Dies is you see M being developed into a mother figure, where you see Q in GoldenEye, he's becoming a father figure to Bond.
Go ahead.
Okay, with M in the first film, you don't get to see her action after the mission's finished, but you see definitely that M is like the West. She symbolizes the West after the Cold War. So we really don't need all this. So what's the point of keeping these nuclear weapons, these tanks, all this? And so in this sense, GoldenEye has some very powerful symbolism that you still need a Bond. You still need Bond. You still need a secret agent kind of like thing. So it's really cool that Bond will live on beyond the Cold War, which is a great way of saying Bond will continue. He will return.
I don't mean to divert the conversation, but I just want to go quickly back to the N64 GoldenEye game. And we were talking about Boris, and we'll get back to Tomorrow Never Dies. But did anyone find it strange that if you kill Boris in the control level, Natasha throws a fit and says, "I'm not going to help you anymore, Bond."
Mission failed.
It's like she attacked him when she first saw him in the movie. She couldn't give a shit about him.
Yeah.
Why does she give a flip if you kill him? Why are they even giving us an option to kill him?
Yeah.
That's such a trap. Every gamer is going to be like, "Oh, Boris, let's kill him." Oh, damn it.
That's not invincible anymore, are you, Boris?
Yeah, Natalia's like, I do not approve of this. Like, darn it.
And she won't help you.
I approve of this gratuitous violence.
And the funniest part is that's probably one of the hardest missions in the game. So you finally shoot Boris. Like, I made it through all this. I shoot Boris, and Natalia's not going to help me. You shoot her.
I hate the control level. I hate that mission. It's so hard.
And I can just say, here's a joke, and it's probably you go to a casino. It's a Casino Royale joke, but it's like this. So, and when your buddy's comes in after you gets the games, you see him failed. You're in a rage mode. It's like, so, what's going on? It's like, the job's done. The bitch is dead.
Yep. I like how Natasha just for killing Boris, she puts the whole world at risk because we need Natasha to stop GoldenEye. London's about to be annihilated, and she's like, "No, you killed Boris, the guy who was responsible for everyone else dying at the satellite base in Russia. But he was still a person."
Real quick, and then we can go back to the game. I'm really sorry. I just want to add this. I think that's also what's great about GoldenEye. Is it's not about the world at risk. It's England's at risk, and it will affect the rest of the world. But it's not like I will rule the world with this weapon. It's like I just want to get back at England. This is payback for me. I don't really care about the world
and money.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's just like at the same time, it's more. It's not save the world kind of thing. Ho hums kind of. It's getting really actually. What's frustrating with Bond is it gets really boring. Oh, he's saving the world again. So when you see him, it's more specific threat. Like they're trying to destroy England. It's actually a nice twist. And actually, there's more at stake there than say the rest of the world.
Right. And of course it ties in perfectly with Alec's background and how he would want revenge on England.
Yeah.
And jumping back to Tomorrow Never Dies and what you were talking about, M's relationship with Bond. I think this the last time we spoke. It was weird that in GoldenEye, she said she had the kind of like it was almost like the Q relationship, and that she had kind of like she didn't like Bond, but in the end she still kind of respected him. She did at the end of that briefing. She does say, "Bond, come back safe." So she did respect him, but she says, I think you're a misogynistic dinosaur, a relic of the cold. But I must not whatever. And then in Tomorrow Never Dies, she's like, "Oh, you knew Paris Carver. Pump her for information."
Yeah,
pump her for information, Bond.
You just have to decide how much pumping is needed.
Yeah. But I think what's also great was it being less humorous, though. It's like when Bond in the introduction scene, when he's starting to blow things up, and you see the older officers, like, what is Bond doing? And you see like M just puts her foot down right immediately, his job, and it's like, oh, cool, okay, M likes Bond now. It's like, that's good.
Well, I don't know if she likes him, but it's kind of like with trust. It's kind of like, oh, I trust him. Oh, and Patrick, yes, we do need more time.
Yeah. I think so. I'll probably try to go to focusing on the other movies. I think because Die Another Day or Buy Another Day is just.
We should have a long discussion on how horrible that we could actually like watch the movie simultaneously and pick out every single thing we hate about that movie.
Yeah, I think Tomorrow Never Dies. I think was a really missed effort. It was a good chance of being a really great Bond. Actually, you could make a couple movies, pump a couple more movies out of it. Elliot Carver could have been a great. It could have made a great new Spectre organization. It could have been. It was possible because and it was great. It was a great motive. It's like I just want to tell a story. That's evil. Seriously, I know it sounds funny for me to say, but that's evil. I don't really care about the money. I want to tell a story. I enjoy it.
I really liked Elliot Carver, and I think that whole idea of making him a media mogul, because when you see Rupert Murdoch, and especially around that time, CNN, Fox News were the competing 24-hour news networks, and these was especially modeled after Rupert Murdoch, because he not only owns TV networks, but he also owns newspapers and tabloids, and that could have been it's kind of like he was a really interesting villain. It's too bad that the script for the story really sucks.
And then they really make him a wimp at the end of the film, like no, and the drill comes into him.
Still, he was the best part of that movie.
Yeah. He was a great actor.
He stole the show every time he popped on screen.
Yeah, and he had some of the best quotes of any Bond film, and really good quotes too. And when Bond says, "You really are insane," and you see Elliot Carver regard him really quickly, no anger or anything like that. It's like the difference between the difference between genius and insanity is only measured by success. And that's a cool way to put Bond down, because it was a great, brilliant idea. I think the script, the only problem for me is that okay, because it's blame it on my history and political science stuff, but I didn't really see that China and Britain would go to war. I didn't really see that going to happen. I could understand tension happening, definitely could see tension happening, but I really didn't see a chance. Oh, there's gonna be a full scale war. Oh no, I didn't see that. But I could see that it would have been great was, and if with each film, Elliot Carver's plan is foiled, but you see him, he's still building up that tension between Britain and China. That would have been cool. It's like you build it up so by second film, third film, the stakes like a match, lighting a match would set off a war between these two countries. That would have been great.
Well, wasn't the movie wasn't it released or made around the time of the Hong Kong handover?
Yeah, 2000. Yeah. In 2000, Britain was supposed to give Hong Kong, and it did, peacefully.
Okay.
And what was fitting is, though, for the British, kind of like British were high-fiving each other, is that China didn't really mess with the Hong Kong economic system. They just said, okay, just make money for us now.
Right. And I agree to an extent that maybe, but then again, we are in a little bit of a movie universe, and I guess we're supposed to accept that there are. Oh, I don't know. In the movie, did they say there's ongoing tensions between Britain and China?
I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Before the ship was sunk?
I'm not very sure, but I think it just it would have been nice to have a further build up. I think it would have been a great backstory, and by the second or third film, it has to be focused on, like, okay, China and Britain, we need to end this right, stop this now, Bond, because Elliot Carver's doing it, and that's when you can have this big climatic showdown. I'm not saying Elliot Carver could have been a muscular, very fit person that could have been Bond's equal, but it could have been a great showdown between these two characters.
Right, and I think they should have what they've done, like in the briefing for the movie when Bond gets his brief, is that maybe build up the fact that the kind of tensions between Britain and China are been escalating, but it seems like now the only incident which is leading to World War I is the loss of a British ship and the loss of a Chinese fighter. I mean, yeah, that's bad. It's going to bring off tensions, but I don't think it's going to get to like a boiling point. Maybe if they built up like, okay, there's been military tension between these two empires, for like the last year or two, and going over to Carver. I don't know about you guys, but I disagree that how Bond just killed him off. I think it would have been better if Bond took him in. That would have been really interesting. Instead of killing one, you arrest him.
Yeah, and someone said this. Someone had actually a great twist for a great, even better ending. I forgot who said it, but you see Elliot Carver in the prison, and you see him watching the news, and you see himself on the news being, about the destruction of his empire.
That was me.
Yeah, that was a good. Seriously, that was a great idea.
His face blasted all over his own network and on his own tabloids, like Elliot Carver, murderer.
One thing about Tomorrow Never Dies that kind of irritates me is the fact that one of the things is the plan in itself. The reason why he goes through this massive frame job, and in fact, this is actually it's an important detail for why he's doing it, but you can easily miss it. The reason why he's doing all this is because with his he launches his new media network, where he can reach every single person on the planet, except for China, which refuses broadcasting rights.
Oh,
so
good call.
The reason why he's doing this is he's working with this guy named General Chang. Do you guys remember him from the movie?
Yes, yeah. He actually is the one who turns in the Chinese agent Bond works with. Yeah.
Yeah, General Chang. He's an important character. Too bad he only appeared on the screen for about 3 seconds.
Yeah,
I don't remember the movie.
He's in the scene.
Exactly, that's my point.
He's in the scene.
Chang is an important character who you barely see.
He's in the scene where after the scuba action sequence, where these just Bond and the lady just escaped this ship, when they get turned in, and before you see Stamper about to torture them. Which I think during the hallway as they walk into the main area and there's the confrontation with the Carver, you see the general walking out.
That's the thing that annoys me. His entire plan revolves around that general.
And what was his role? Not being smart. What was his role in the plan?
The plan was basically the fight would the British and Chinese fleets would start fighting. They would start fighting, and using that missile on the boat, they would fire that into Beijing, where General Chang had just called a meeting with all the major Chinese leaders. He would be delayed in traffic. All the leaders would die from the missile, and he would arise to take over the country, negotiate a peace signing with Britain, and then in return for being in charge of the country, he would give exclusive broadcasting rights to Carver's group.
Jeez.
For about 100 years.
They should. That's a brilliant plan right there.
The plan itself is good, but the guy who's most important for it is only on screen for about 3 seconds.
It feels, you know what it feels like? It feels like they cut a lot of footage out of this movie.
And they did. For example, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. Go ahead.
For example, the computer hacker, the guy, they actually had a sequence, 2 scenes where you see him throwing cards. Because he's a magician, you see him throwing cards. He's very proficient at throwing cards. And the scene where Bond they just escape just before the torture sequence, right? They're about to get tortured, they escape. In one of the scenes, you see the magician throw his cards, and Bond pulls someone in front of him or something like that, and he gets the guy in the arm. And that's how good he is. It's the force of it enables him to pierce skin. It's like, whoa. Stuff like that.
That wasn't faked either. The actor who played that character could actually do that.
Yeah, he's actually a magician, so it's like they wasted him. A great character.
When he threw his cards, the show went ding, 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 ding. Heyo.
Yeah, but they're really good sequences, and I have to say, the bright side of the film is the car sequence. I think the remote control sequence was really neat. Yes, for example, the cable cutter was ridiculous, but it was, and the rockets going to penetrate the doors. That was also ridiculous, but you know what? It was still a neat sequence. The music also was really cool. I don't know. The music really fit the sequence. Sorry.
Go ahead, Webbman. Oh, I thought you were trying to.
So it really got really quiet. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I talked too much. I'm sorry. Don't hurt me.
Right. Yeah, that's all right. Let's see. Anything else to talk about Tomorrow Never Dies, except that it had an awesome villain and it could have been much better.
Yeah, important. Sadly, it would have been nice to have more backstory with the female agent. She's actually a great character. She worked with Jackie Chan, so she probably could have done some really cool stunts. So it could have been nice to have her as a friendship, in a sense. Could have been a Felix Leiter for China, in a sense. But then they had to force a romantic relationship. It's like, really? There's no relationship.
She was really good.
The problem with a lot of the Bond films. A lot of the time they felt a romantic relationship was necessary just out of the fact that it's tradition, even when it really didn't work with the current plot line. Again, jumping.
Alright, I'm over. Who's next?
Yeah.
It's like that scene from Austin Powers, Spy Who Loved Me. Oh no, Vanessa, my wife, my one true love is dead. Oh no!
Wait a minute.
I'm single again. Yeah, baby, yeah.
They see that would have been the bad ending to Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh man,
that's all right. It's all right.
Divorce.
She's having a rest. Will be going on soon. There's no hurry, you see. We have all the time in the world. Wait a minute. I'm single. Yeah.
Bond, divorce style.
Whittier. He's a Whittier. I can't pronounce it. Damn it all.
Yeah.
Never mind. I can't pronounce it right now for some reason.
Whittier?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a shame was that it was the last good Pierce Brosnan film. And The World Is Not Enough, I hated it. It was absolutely ridiculous with the boat. Think about this. Here's this top secret boat right directly in MI6. And you're thinking about like this. Think about how bad this idea is. They had a way to launch the boat out of the building into the harbor.
Into the Thames.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Thames.
Thames River.
Yeah, look, this is a top secret organization. Here's a top secret weapon. Seriously?
Yeah,
seriously?
Launching it out onto like one of the most.
It out like the 5th floor or something, or the 6th floor or something like that.
Yeah, it was
onto the most populated waterway in Britain.
Yeah, top secret. I do have to admit though, the idea for how to ignite the explosives was really, really cool. The little laser boop, activates it. That was cool. I can dig it. But
well, actually, going back to the boat, maybe they would test run it at night.
But think about it like this though. It's still, you see this thing launching. So what is that? Poof.
Yeah.
And here's another question.
Imagine people with like tourists take pictures like, oh, look at that.
And also think like this. It would be expensive to transport this thing back into the MI6 headquarters. It's like, why is this big truck going into this place? It's very suspicious. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they have like some like I don't know, some like little tunnel.
Yeah. And the main villain, Renard, what was his name?
Yeah, Renard.
Yeah, it was actually could have been a very threatening villain because this guy could not feel any pain, so he could have been like the Terminator. This guy won't die.
Yeah, he was. That was the same. They recycled the same villain from. They recycled Stamper because Stamper was the same reason, but was the same thing. He can't feel pain, and they didn't do anything with Stamper.
Stamper in the movie, he could feel pain. It was an early script idea that he couldn't feel pain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the novel of the movie, they actually kept that in.
Oh, by the way, did you know that the movie was originally called Tomorrow Never Lies? Did you guys know that? They changed it to Tomorrow Never Dies because of a typo.
Really?
Tomorrow Never Dies sounds better.
Which one?
Tomorrow Never Dies. Maybe just because I'm so used to it now.
Well, Tomorrow Never Lies makes more sense in terms of the newspaper media.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's probably because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Sound.
Yeah, I think it also would have been nice. It would have made the title even more significant if they brought Elliot Carver back for another film, because it makes Tomorrow, the business organization, a big villain. But symbolism, anyway. But
symbolism.
I think World's Not Enough is just terrible. It's terrible in the fact is that I'll stay quiet. I'll stay quiet. You guys talk about World's Not Enough. I'm sorry.
Hey, it has a lot of good ideas. It just not executed very good. I mean, Carl, whatever his name is, he was a good idea behind a villain. It just wasn't executed well. The idea that a Bond girl actually turns out to be one of the main villains, that's a great idea. Just never really done well.
Yeah. Especially with the fact, it's like the shoulder injury, the collarbone injury, it could have been done much better. It's like once that was given away with Renard, it's like, yeah, she's a bad guy. Who else knows about it? And because you don't get to see any other characters involved with Bond's operation.
Although, if the movie starred Mr. Silver from Skyfall, he would have said, "Oh, well, I just looked up your medical report, Bond."
Oh yeah.
And here's how I would summarize The World Is Not Enough. People often debate which is the worst Pierce Brosnan movie, World Is Not Enough or Die Another Day. I would say that World Is Not Enough is a worse movie because it tried to do something and it failed. Die Another Day is less worse because it didn't attempt to do anything.
No, but the thing is, though, is that with Die Another Day, it became Batman and Robin. It made Bond bad, and it almost discontinued. It discontinued the franchise. So almost made discontinue.
Yeah, Yeah, well, I would say Tomorrow Never Dies. I would say Die Another Day is worse.
Yeah,
you know?
And also with Die Another Day, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it. Cut in. It's just that with Die Another Day, and it ends up making the Bond series reboot. Seriously, Diamonds Are Forever, Moonraker could not do that.
Right. I don't know. I agree.
Diamond. I just want to say so quick. The world's not enough. It's bad, but I can at least watch the whole movie while wanting to kill myself. Yeah. After the first half and Die Another Day, I just want it to die because it's so bad.
Yeah, we're really we're way over time, so why don't we talk about Die Another Day real quick, and then we'll finish it off.
Die Another Day can kiss my fucking ass.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
Alright, borderline alright, but the second half is just so fucking stupid, like I wouldn't believe.
I fucking hate this movie.
A Korean guy manages to turn into a white guy through the power of plastic surgery. What the fuck?
You know what?
Not just plastic surgery. DNA surgery.
Science, of course.
Okay, okay. You know what? I take it back. You know what? I got my thoughts mixed up. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Die Another Day is the worst Pierce Brosnan movie because you know what? You brought up a good point. With The World Was Not Enough, while it failed to follow up on its good ideas, it at least had some okay scenes in it. I mean, it had Desmond Llewellyn's last scene, the chase through London with the boat, and the escape from the Spain bank. I'm on a boat. Those parts were at least entertaining. I agree with you. So you know what? My opinions changed. Die Another Day is the worst. Is the worst Pierce Brosnan movie. Fuck that awful, overblown piece of shit. Fuck it. Fuck it to hell.
Ooh. Sorry.
It just fails on just about every level.
I saw that in the theater.
Story is bad.
You know the movie is bad when it's trying to copy. Sorry, go ahead.
The acting subpar, borderline terrible.
Yeah,
Pierce Brosnan's the strongest character there, honestly.
I think I got the rest of it.
I got this real quick. You know the movie is bad when the film series that practically invented the spy genre is copying Triple X.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And Michael Bay. And Michael freaking Bay.
Like, I know people would like to toss around the word jump the shark or nuke the fridge, but in James Bond's case, it's going fucking parasailing.
No. Even worse than that. It ejected the chair. That's the gun symbolism for this movie. It ejected the chair.
You know how I could tell when I first saw that movie, how I could tell I was in for some seriously overblown crap? When the opening the opening sequence happens, the walk along the gun barrel, and then you see this CGI bullet come flying at you. I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah,
I'd
right.
say
those movies.
Bond must be a really good shot to shoot a bullet into another gun barrel.
But wasn't it not in defense? Isn't what it's been implied with all the other Bonds films is where he shoots it and boom. Goes through the barrel?
It's been implied that I shot the dude, that's trying to shoot him. But he never actually shot his bullet through the other gun's gun barrel.
Okay.
Like you tried to do there.
I'm just asking, that's all. That's why I always thought he goes through the barrel. That's how good he is. But, okay, no problem.
Okay, so let's talk more about how this movie's shit.
There's many different scenes I could point out that, for one, the main villain, not just the fact that he's a Korean guy who turned himself white.
To the power of science.
Who needs sleep? Sleep is for the dead.
You can't take the guy seriously, like at all. And even near the end, where he tries to look intimidating, and you see his father, the general, comes in on the plane. He sees the guy. He's wearing that suit that allows him to control the heat laser.
The RoboCop suit.
He turns around. He turns around like dramatically facing the camera, and he's wearing these fucking goggles